Hello. So Functional Fitness Friday. So today I got a circuit plan for us. We're going to go 3 times through 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest slash transition time. And then we'll finish out with some box breathing later on. In terms of equipment, we do need a small mini band if you have one. If not, not a problem. We're going to do those slow marches again with that. So really working on those hip flexors there. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with our demos real quick. So first off, we're going to start off with push-ups. So these ones, we're just going to do straight up push-ups. So we can either do hands and knees or hands and toes, but no tempos today, no pauses. So screwing those hands into the ground, chest coming down, push the ground away, keeping those elbows nice and tight. So that's what we're going to start with. And then we're going to go ahead and stand up and we're going to do some staggered squats here, but we're going to alternate. So we're going to put all of our weight on one foot, coming up on the other toe, squatting down, push the ground away, then alternating to the other foot. So making sure, like I'm actually not wearing black shoes for once. I don't know if y'all can see my feet. But when we are alternating, our foot is not all the way back. We're not lunging. It's just kind of off to the side, squatting down. And as you can see, you can tell all of my weight's on my right foot there. So that's going to be our staggered squat. And then I'm probably going to regret this, but next we're going to do some pike push-ups here. So getting down into our plank position, pushing our hips up towards the ceiling, then coming down, bringing our head in between our hands, and then pushing ourselves back up. So it's going to be our pike push-up. And then we're going to go ahead and be on our backs after this, and we're going to do alternating single leg glute bridges. So sticking one foot up in the air, keeping that foot underneath our knee here, drive the hips up, back down, and then alternate to the other leg and back down. So we're doing all the way up, all the way down. You can have your leg straight up, cross your leg, whatever feels good, or have it, kind of on the ground. So whatever feels good for you, but one leg at a time. And then finally, we'll end with our banded marches here. So having that mini band, if we have it, around our toes on the ground, and then one leg at a time, drive that knee up, exhaling, and back down. If you do not have a mini band, go ahead, nice and slow, bring that leg up, pause, and back down, and then the other side, nice and slow, and back down. So that's going to be our whole workout for today. So we're going to go ahead and start with our warm-up. We can come to the top of our space. We're going to start off with World's Greatest. So we're going to interlace our fingers, grab our right knee. I don't know why I said behind. Grab the right knee, pull the right knee towards the chest. And we're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're exhaling, stepping back, reverse lunge, hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Keeping that back leg nice and straight. We're going to hang out here for a second, opening up our hips. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, opening up towards our front leg. So bringing the left hand towards the ceiling, gazing past our thumb. Keeping that back leg nice and straight still. We're going to take a big deep belly breath. And we're going to exhale, plant the hand outside of our front foot, push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So interlace our fingers, grab onto the left knee, pull the left knee towards the chest. We're going to take a nice big deep belly breath. And we're going to exhale, step back, reverse lunge. Back leg stays nice and straight, hands coming down to the inside of the front foot. We're going to hang out here for a second, opening up our hips. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're exhaling, opening up towards the front leg. So right hand towards the ceiling, gazing past our thumb, get a nice rotation through the spine, through our neck. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're exhaling, planting the hand outside of our front foot. Push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. Nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. Awesome. All right, next thing we're gonna go ahead and do, we can come, you can actually stay there and turn around or go to the bottom of your space, whatever feels good. We're gonna go ahead and push our hips back, bring our hands to the ground, do a little bit of a forward fold. Then we're gonna go ahead and walk our hands out into our plank position, warming up our core and our arms. And we're gonna go ahead and exhale, push our hips up into a pike position. We're gonna kind of warm up our shoulders, stretch out those calves. We can pedal our heels. Getting ready for our pike push-ups here. And then we're gonna go ahead and come back to our plank. We're gonna push up into the pike and back to plank. And last one, pushing up. And then we can go ahead and walk our hands back towards our feet. And when we're ready, we can go ahead and push the ground away and stand on up. We are ready to rock and roll. So we're starting on the ground with push-ups, either hands and knees or hands and toes. 45 seconds of work. Getting ready here in 3, 2, 1, and go. So we have our plank position here. So getting ready, we want to screw those hands into the ground. That's going to make sure that our upper back is nice and activated. And onto those toes, bring the chest as close to the ground as we can, making sure our hips and our chest move at the same time. So everything is one nice fluid motion. I might have to switch my knees here pretty quick. Great job. Okay. That's what happens when you work out chest in the morning and you put a bunch of push-ups in the class. So if we're on those knees, we want to keep our core still nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. All right. Standing on up, we have staggered squats. We're going to alternate here. We can pick whichever foot we'd like to start with. 3, 2, 1. So choose your foot, coming up on the other toe, trying to keep that chest in the center as if we were performing a squat with all of the weight evenly distributed across our feet. This is a great way to work on single leg strength and also maybe evening out our strong side and our non-strong side, or not as strong side, I should say. Making sure chest is open. We're pinching that or squeezing that orange in between our shoulder blades here. Hips go back, knee comes forward, push the ground away, heel, big toe, little toe. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna get back on the ground. For more push-ups, we have pike push-ups this time around. We can either start in the plank position and push up. 3, 2, 1. So screwing those hands into the ground, getting the back ready. I like to be on the hands and knees and tuck the toes and push myself up into the pike position. So we want our elbows to come towards our legs. We don't want them going all the way out. We want to keep those elbows in, just like with regular push-ups, protecting our shoulder joints. Our core is zipped up still. We want to keep everything nice and tight through the core, through the back, and aiming to get our head in between our hands. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we're going to do our single leg glute bridges. We're going to alternate our legs. And then we'll stand up for marches. 3, 2, 1. So choosing whichever leg you'd like. Stick one leg out, pushing through that heel, big toe, little toe of our foot that's on the ground. Keeping those, we want our heels to be directly below the knee. So our shin is straight up and down. If our foot is too close to the butt, we're going to feel that in the quads. If it's too far away, we're going to feel it in the hamstring. So we want to kind of find that Goldilocks to make sure we're using majority of the movement is being driven from the glutes. It's kind of, I don't want to say impossible, but it's really difficult to solely use the glutes here. 3, 2, 1. We just want to minimize the other usage of those muscles. All right, getting ready for our slow slash banded marches here. 3, 2, 1. So try not to fall over there. So 1 knee up. Goodness. Okay. Zip the core up. Drive the knee up and back down. Really strengthening the hip flexors here. We want to keep that core zipped up and really driving the knees. If we don't have a band, we're going nice and slow, holding at the top and back down. This is a really great way to work on our hip strength. 3, 2, 1. All right. Great job. Round 1 is done. We got 2 more to go. So we're starting off with push-ups here. So we're getting ready on the ground. We're going to screw those hands in, activate our back. 3, 2, 1. So we want to try and last as long as we can on the hands and toes. Bringing that chest down as close to the ground as we can. Driving through our hands through the ground, keeping those elbows 45-degree angles. So when we come down, we want our hands to roughly be at the bottom of our ribs here and then pushing up. So when we're here and we push back to our hands being directly under the shoulders, that's how we use our chest muscles. So that's what our action here is going to be, down, pushing back up to that starting position. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our staggered squats. We're going to alternate. So choosing whichever leg you want to start with. 3, 2, 1. So I do still like to keep my feet underneath the hip because we do want it to look very similar to a 2-leg squat, but all of that weight is on one foot, keeping that chest in the center, driving through, heel, big toe, little toe. Want to feel it in the glutes, in the quads here. Moving nice and slow. You don't need to rush through it. We want to feel and use the muscles that we want to get out of it. If we're going super fast, we're like not feeling too much in the movement, go ahead, slow it down. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got more push-ups coming up. Pike push-ups this time. Still screwing the hands in. Same concept here. 3, 2, 1. So getting to the pike position, however you would like. We're going to feel this one in the shoulders and also the triceps a little bit more than our other push-ups that we were just doing. I guess regular push-ups, you can call them. But bringing that head in between the hands, trying to bring the head as close to the ground as we can. Okay, we got this. We're doing great. Lots of push-ups today, which are not my favorite, but they're also just so good for arm strength and functional strength as well. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to go ahead and get on our backs. We have single leg glute bridges. Then we're going to do our marches. Then we got one more round. Then we're going to stretch and then breathe. 3, 2, 1. So pick one leg. Again, finding that Goldilocks position. Really important here too. We want to tuck the pelvis. So bring the butt to the belly button, zip that core up, bring everything together, and then drive through. That way that back is nice and flat. And we're just using the glutes here. Exhaling as we drive the hips up. Great job. I feel like there was something else I was just going to say, and I don't remember, but that's okay. Really driving through the heels. 3, 2, 1. Great job. All right. We have marches. Getting our band ready if we have it. If not, just going nice and slow. 3, 2, 1. I know I discovered these recently, and I really do like them to strengthen our hip flexors, because sometimes that tightness that we get in the hips can be caused from weaker hip flexors, and they're definitely, I like them, but I don't like them at the same time. My hips keep popping when I'm doing it, but popping and cracking is okay as long as there's no pain associated with it. So I know there are certain movements for me personally with my hip issues that I have. The popping is painful, but this one is not. So we're gonna keep doing it. 3, 2, 1. All right. Round 2 is done. We're getting ready for our last round, starting off with push-ups. All right, screw those hands in the ground. 3, 2, 1. So keeping that arm action. We're starting off, hands are directly below the shoulders, coming down, they're near the bottom of the ribs, pushing back up. We're getting into that position, I guess you can call it. Switching to the knees now because my arms are shaking. That is okay. You could also switch over to an eccentric from the toes as well. There's lots of ways to progress through push-ups, but definitely want to try and push ourselves a little bit more than normal. So if we're normally on the knees, going from the toes. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those push-ups. We only got one more thing of push-ups today, but we have our staggered squats first. Making this last round our best round here. 3, 2, 1. Went down. Knee is still over the second toe. Chest is still in the middle of the arches. Driving through, just using that one leg. And the opposite leg. Just like with lunges on my right side, when I'm doing knees, I do move a little bit slower because my right glute doesn't always activate the same way. So that's why, you know, especially in this class, I do like to do, you know, single leg things because it does force us to really focus on firing and engaging the muscles. Because if we were just doing, you know, a 2-legged squat all the time, we would never know that maybe one side tends to take over. 3, 2, 1. All right. Back to the ground. Pike push-ups. And then we got our single leg glute bridges, then our marches. 3, 2, 1. So after we finish our marches, then we'll go ahead. We're going to be back on the ground. We're going to be on our back. We're going to do a quick stretch on the ground. And then, like I said in the beginning of class, we are going to be doing some box breathing today. Really calm the body down, calm the nervous system down after this class, and get us ready for the weekend. Get ready for Focus Friday. Hopefully we all have pretty light days the rest of the day. Great job getting that head as close to the ground as we can. Push a little further this time. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done with push-ups for today. And we're gonna get on the ground, or sorry, we already are on the ground. We're gonna flip over on our backs. Single leg glute bridges. Getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. Oh, now I remember what I was gonna say last time. Making sure we have our headlights on our hips still with this movement. They're facing the ceiling. So we want to make sure, because sometimes when we do one leg things or one-sided things, it's really easy to kind of let, you know, our hips kind of move around. That's where that core comes in. We're zipping the core up, breathing through that straw, bringing everything together, and then driving through our heel big toe, little toe. Great job. Keep pushing. Almost there. Strengthening one leg at a time. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last movement here, we have our band around our toes. 3, 2, 1. So this one also, just like regular marches, really good for our core as well. So I keep that core engaged. Same thing as with the marches with marches too for the single leg glute bridge. It's really easy to start to lean over, have the weight shift to help us. We really want to just use our hips, try and stay as straight as we can through our hips, torso, and shoulders. This is also a great way to strengthen the pillar. Great job. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. And that is it for today's circuit. Let's go ahead and grab a sip of water if you need it. And then we're going to go ahead and make our way on the ground on our backs. And that is how we are going to finish out the rest of class. So we definitely did a lot of lower body things today. So we're going to go ahead and do our figure 4 piriformis stretch. So we can go ahead and plant one foot on the ground, and then we'll take the opposite ankle, cross it over that knee. And then if that tension feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little extra tension, go ahead and interlace those fingers, either grab behind the knee or in front of the shin. And then we're going to pull that knee towards the chest. And we're going to do some deep breaths here. So we're going to inhale in through the nose, into the belly. And when we do that, I want us to feel our hips expand. And then we're going to exhale through the mouth. Sigh away the tension in our hips. So the front of the hip, the back of the hip, all of that's going to help us kind of loosen up our legs and our back as well. And I want us to sink into the floor with each exhale a little bit further. And we're going to do one more deep breath here. And as we finish our exhale, when we're ready, we can bring that foot to the ground, then the other foot, and then we'll go ahead and cross the opposite ankle over the opposite knee. And again, if that tension feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little extra tension, go ahead and interlace those fingers and grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin, and then pull the knee towards the chest. And this is where we might notice maybe the other leg was tighter in other areas than this leg. That's totally normal. And this is why we do stretches like this. We want to breathe in through the nose, into the belly. Again, feeling our hips expand. And then exhaling through the mouth, sighing away the tension, sinking into the floor. And we're going to do one more deep breath here. And as we are finishing up our exhale, when we're ready, to bring that foot to the ground and then the other foot. And then we'll go ahead and straighten our legs all the way out to get ready to do some box breathing here. So as always, I do like to have my right hand over my diaphragm or over the belly, and then left hand over the chest or the heart. The goal, we want our right hand to raise more or before the left hand does. That means that's where we're really breathing into the diaphragm, and that's how we create those big deep breaths. That's how we tap into our rest and digest or our parasympathetic nervous system. That's how we really calm our body down. So we're going to do a box breathing session here. We're going to do a couple rounds of these. So we're going to inhale for 4 seconds through the nose. We're going to hold for 4 seconds. We're going to exhale for 4 seconds through the mouth, and then we're going to hold for 4 seconds. So that's going to be our tempo today. So we're gonna go ahead and inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do one more through, and then we're going to leave that tempo. I'll be quiet for a few minutes. So we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. So try and keep that tempo up. We're going to continue that tempo for a few minutes here. So I'm just going to be quiet and focus on my breathing as well. We're going to go ahead and do 2 more rounds of that, wherever you're at. And this next round is going to be our last round. And after we finish that last round through, we can go ahead and start to wake the body up. So we can wiggle our fingers and toes, move the head side to side. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and make your way onto your side and gently return to a seated, kneeling, or a standing position. But that is going to be all the time for today's class. Thank you for joining me. Thank you all for joining me. Box breathing is a great way to kind of just calm the body down, reset a little bit. You can do that at any time of the day, before bed, when you first wake up. If you're stressed, any time of the day, it's great to do that. So, definitely try that throughout the week. Next week, but next week we got full schedule going. You can always catch up on SharePoint, and then you can check out all the recordings on our YouTube channel. But please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need help with anything. We're always here and happy to help. And I hope you all have a great weekend.